Wendy Williams has never been shy about sharing her take on Hollywood's biggest names, and it looks like she's setting her sights on Sean Diddy Combs all over again. After years of rumored tensions, Wendy dropped hints that she holds serious dirt on Diddy, enough to send shockwaves through the industry if she ever fully speaks out. During a recent interview on The Breakfast Club, as cited by Radar, Wendy didn't mince words. Diddy done, she declared, implying that the legal stuff might just be the tip of the iceberg for him.
Wendy is back in the headlines, and this time, she's predicting that Diddy might face life in prison.
Okay, so it's no secret that Wendy and Diddy have had a colorful history, let's say. She's long maintained that she's lost her Hot 97 radio gig thanks to his influence. Though Diddy has repeatedly denied such claims, Wendy has stuck to her narrative, occasionally teasing that she's privy to secrets about Diddy's past that apparently nobody else knows. "You don't know things that I knew about Diddy back in the day," she recently added. It's about time, people. Diddy done. The claim that Diddy could spend life behind bars, as Wendy suggests, might sound sensational, but so is everything else that Wendy touches. Am I right? But who knows, maybe she's onto something here. It's not just the drama that has Wendy fired up. She also commented on how surreal it is to see herself popping up on TMZ alongside Diddy, given their rocky background. "When I watch TMZ, then all of a sudden I see me on TMZ. So it's really weird," she confessed. Then again, weirdness is nothing new to Wendy's public life, and she clearly thrives on stirring the pot. While Wendy is calling out Diddy, Justin Bieber is grabbing headlines for a totally different reason. Justin has been systematically unfollowing and blocking several celebrities on social media, leaving fans scratching their heads wondering why. According to The Mirror, his digital purge included mentor Usher, former manager Scooter Braun, and even father-in-law Stephen Baldwin. So the big question is, why keep following Diddy, especially now that Combs is facing multiple claims? I don't know, it's weird, right? Given Justin's hush-hush approach to this mass unfollowing, fans have been cooking up theories left and right. Some think it's a sign of him distancing himself from old drama, especially since he's taken on a more low-key lifestyle following the birth of his son, Jack Blues, back in August 2024. JB has been spending more time at home with his wife, Hailey Bieber, and stepping away from the center stage. If he's in full family-first mode, maybe the social media cleanup is all about clarity and cutting off distractions, and that doesn't seem like the worst idea, right? Although the fact that Bieber continues to follow Diddy despite the heightened discussion has all sorts of people confused. After all, if he's ditching major figures like Usher, Scooter Braun, why stick with Diddy? Some think he's just not ready to get rid of that connection, possibly out of loyalty or because the two share more history than the public realizes. Others wonder if Justin simply forgot to hit the unfollow button. When you're juggling fatherhood, a career, and Instagram is maybe not the center of your life, maybe that minor detail could just slip, right? Let's give the new father a break, please. Meanwhile, Diddy woos keep stacking up, and Wendy Williams isn't the only one raising eyebrows as his claims of innocence. Word on the street is that more people come forward with stories about the rapper's past, fueling the speculation that the trouble he's facing is way bigger than a single suit or two. Wendy alluded to this possibility, hinting she's been holding onto intel that could blow up in the entire narrative that's already been created. Whether she'll spill it in a new project, a podcast, an interview, we'll just have to wait and see. But given Wendy's dramatic reveals in the past, fans are ready to see her spill all the tea. Secrets about P. Diddy revealed in new documentary, Diddy, The Making of Bad Boy.
We are finally getting to see a documentary made about P. Diddy.
Sean Combs is a monster.
And his inner circle is spilling secrets that people are finding surprising. Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy is a 90-minute documentary that touches on Diddy's life from his early music years to topics that were wild. We are given exclusive interviews from Diddy's childhood friends, former employees, people who knew him for the good and the bad.
His karma was about to catch up. It was bound to catch up with him.
And Sing AIB, who married to Combs' late ex, Kim Porter. As we already know, Diddy is under some claims he might not be able to escape.
Sean Diddy Combs, another lawsuit was just filed out in New York State Court on Monday.
He's still waiting for trial, and let's just say his future isn't looking too bright. Let's discuss some of the wild claims made in the documentary. Okay, first is the claims about Kim Porter's life. Claims about Kim Porter's life have created conversations over the years. Singer A.I.B. Sure, who was in a relationship with Kim Porter before she dated Sean Diddy Combs, has made some surprising claims. He and Porter had a son, Quincy Brown, together, and Porter was no longer around in 2018 at the age of 47 with reports of pneumonia.
A shocked and devastated Diddy spotted at the home where his ex suddenly and mysteriously died.
R&B singer Albie Shore breaks his silence on dating Sean Diddy Combs' ex, Kim Porter, in a new Peacock documentary.
In a documentary, A.I.B. Sure referred to her passing as planned, adding, "Am I supposed to say allegedly?" He claimed that Porter seemed healthy when he last saw her and expressed doubts about the official cause, saying, "Nah, something is not right with this." He also claimed that Porter confided in him about her relationship with Combs, saying, "She told me something is not right, his soul has gone completely dark, like he's just not there." He further claimed that Porter asked him not to reveal details about her personal life, saying she was worried for him. According to him, Porter had been documenting her experiences in a diary on her devices, which were reportedly taken after she was gone. Porter had 3 children with Combs, Christian and twin daughters Jessie and Delilah. In 2024, her children released a statement denying any foul play in their mother's passing, calling the rumors false and hurtful.
Sean P. Diddy Combs' children are speaking out today, denouncing a new book about the death of their mother.
Text on screen in the documentary noted that the LAPD found no evidence of involvement and the cause was pneumonia. Okay, so his mom threw some wild parties, guys. Another claim touches on Diddy's upbringing and the environment he grew up in.
Tim Dog Patterson, he alleged Diddy's mom would often throw parties at Diddy's childhood home.
Patterson, a childhood friend who lived in Combs' home during the early years, claimed that his mom, Janice Combs, hosted some wild parties. According to Patterson, Combs was shown a range of adult stuff from a young age. He claimed that he was around all types of drinks, smoke, supplements, women who like women, men who like men, and pushers. And that was just who was in our house, he said. Patterson also claimed that they were shown situations early on, although he didn't specify how young. He described walking into bedrooms at night and finding couples unclothed, saying that's why we were privy to, and this is what we were fed. Reflecting on the impact, Patterson added, "Was it desensitizing us? I'm sure it was. Were we aware of it? No. That was just Saturday night." Wow. Now that is pretty crazy. That is crazy. The next thing that's pretty crazy in this documentary is his bodyguard claimed Diddy could have been involved in the Notorious Big's passing. John Deal, who worked as Sean Diddy Combs' bodyguard from 1991 to 2005, reflected on the night in 1997 when the Notorious Big was no longer around in a drive-by at just 24 years old. The night remains one of rap's greatest unsolved mysteries, and the documentary talks about Combs' potential involvement. Deal described the events leading up to the night as crazy, recalling that Biggie had told people he needed to be in London. However, Deal claimed Puff was telling people he ain't going to London that whole week. After Biggie was taken to the hospital, Deal claimed that Combs ran out of the hospital, grabbed his arm, and said, "Gene, we've got to pray." Deal said he bluntly responded, "Pray for what? He's gone, bro." He recalled Combs looking stunned and in disbelief, with a look in his eye as though he couldn't accept Biggie's passing. When asked about Combs' potential involvement, Deal shared his perspective. "I think that he placed Big in that atmosphere so that he directly had something to do with it. He could have." So did he directly have something to do with it? He could have.
He had no business in LA at that time. We all knew that.
In 2017, Combs said on the Wendy Williams show, "I've always felt some form of responsibility because I'm in this thing with him. He's my artist, he was supposed to go to London that night, and I let him talk me into not going to London and staying in LA. And that's something that really bothered me throughout my life."
I always feel some sort of responsibility because I'm in this thing with him.
Okay, so I mean, that's kind of wild too. If what his bodyguard's saying is anywhere remotely true, that is quite the twist. Okay, so Diddy was bullied as a kid, guys. Tim Patterson, a childhood friend of Sean Diddy Combs, reflected on their early years together in Mount Vernon, New York, and shared insights into how Diddy was seen and treated as a kid. Speaking in the documentary, Patterson referred to him as a public enemy #1 right now, adding, "A lot of things are being attached to Sean now. I can't condone any of these things I've heard or seen. He's monsterized now, but monsters are made. That's my little bro." Patterson said that Diddy was often viewed as the rich kid growing up and claimed that others saw him as someone who was not tough. He claimed that Combs was frequently bullied, recalling one particular instance involving a bigger kid who would pick on him, make him cry, take his bike, just do mean stuff. And Patterson's comments shed light on a side of Diddy's upbringing that may have shaped who he would later become. Now, who's to say that this should be even near an excuse to why he's like the way he is? But I guess it could explain a lot. Okay, here's another twist. He used employees to bring women. An anonymous former bad boy employee came forward in the documentary with claims about Sean Diddy Combs. The individual chose not to appear on camera, explaining Sean Combs for over 3 decades, claiming he had people not okay, and citing his own fear for his well-being. The employee stated he met Diddy around 2015 or 2016. Early in their interactions, Combs apparently gave him bad boy gear. The former employee claimed that he had some stuff that gave him a sense of being required and bound to this situation. He claimed that within months of starting, Combs began assigning tasks way outside the scope of his role. One such task reportedly involved him going to clubs while wearing bad boy gear to cruise for girls and bring them back to Combs' house. The employee also claimed he witnessed Combs engaging in an activity with girls who were for sure within the age group that he should have been dealing with. With all these new claims out, Combs' attorney made a statement Monday. These documentaries include unchecked claims and provide platforms for baseless theories without accountability or evidence. In the case of the Peacock documentary in particular, the motivations and credibility of those being interviewed must be questioned. But I don't know, it doesn't look too good for Diddy, and guys, we're just gonna have to wait and see what's next. This is just a lot to take in, and I mean, I don't know how it could get any worse, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
P. Diddy's secret parties exposed in new documentary, Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy.
Sean Combs is a monster.
Peacock will be releasing the documentary, The Making of Bad Boy.
That's my little bro. He already knew what he wanted.
The upcoming Peacock documentary about P. Diddy exposes the dark side, inside drama, secrets that all of us so badly want to know. It's also going to feature one of his old bodyguards, a childhood friend, a winner of Making the Band, and Kim Porter's ex, I'll Be Sure.
Something is not right with this.
This is going to be wild, it's going to be crazy, it's going to be surprising, it's going to be juicy. The documentary will have answers in it that aren't even exposed to the public yet. Possibly celebs that were involved, new stories that we haven't heard, maybe some of J-Lo's involvement. Hold on to your hats. When this documentary comes out, it is going to be next level.
I went to a lot of puffy parties. These were the parties that you needed exclusive access.
Peacock has recently released the first official trailer of their alleged inside drama and exposing the dark side of P. Diddy, who was arrested in September 2024 and has been facing the most wild charges that none of us were expecting. And as the music mogul, once known for his extravagant lifestyle and star-studded parties, rings in the new year behind bars, Peacock has released the first official trailer of their exposed documentary about Sean Combs, with his inner circle spilling all of the dark deeds that the Bad Boy Records founder did. Exclusive look at Sean Combs long before he was known as Puff or Diddy, delving into his early life, rise to fame, and the recent criminal allegations against him. Featuring never-before-seen footage and stories from those who knew him best, Diddy, The Making of the Bad Boy, sheds light on his childhood, rise to fame, recent criminal allegations, challenging viewers to rethink everything they thought that they knew about the mogul behind the music and the mugshot. It will reportedly feature insights from the closest people to him, including a childhood friend, a former bodyguard, winner of Making the Band, as reported by Deadline. The 90-minute documentary will also feature Kim Porter's ex, I'll Be Sure, who is a label member of Diddy at the Uptown Record and was in a relationship with Kim Porter before she started dating Sean Combs. The upcoming Peacock documentary, Diddy, The Making of the Bad Boy, goes beyond chronicling Sean Combs' rise to fame and recent downfall, as the trailer teases an insight into the dark side of Diddy's lavish parties. The trailer of the documentary opens with a striking statement from attorney Lisa Bloom, who represents former Danity Kane senior Don Richard in her lawsuit against Combs. Sean Combs is a monster, she declares. An anonymous female figure also delivers a chilling claim. I want to speak about this now because I've witnessed everything, she says, before adding, I think Sean Combs can get away with anything. The documentary is said to include previously unseen footage of Diddy at home, in the studio, with those closest to him sharing their perspectives on the disgraced music mogul.
The freak-off parties were just the tip of the iceberg. Turns out it gets way deeper. As it turns out, this singer escaped Diddy's freak-off party at 16 years old. When she was just 16 years old in the late 1990s, a singer and journalist has claimed that Sean Combs followed her when she attempted to flee one of his notorious freak-off parties. Under the stage name Good Friday, the musician alleges that the mogul known as Diddy hosted a hotel party in Toronto where young women were enticed with free food, drinks, candies, and consumables. Friday said that people were hooking up in chairs and in shadowy areas, and Diddy picked certain partygoers to go to another VIP freak-off in a neighboring suite. She claims that when she attempted to leave the hotel floor following the loss of her buddy, Diddy's overly protective security guard mistreated her after she feared that she would be used. I went to go out of the main door, and the security guard stopped me. He stood in front of the main door and he grabbed my shoulders and he's like, "You're not going anywhere," Friday told the US Sun. I wanted to leave the party to find my friend, and because I felt very uncomfortable with all these old men trying to touch me and get me to do things with them. I almost had a bad time when I saw Diddy coming from the freak-off room. Obviously his security told him, and I ran to press the elevator button, hoping it would come so I wouldn't have to run down 20+ flights of emergency exit stairs. He was kind of running towards me. This look on his face really terrified me. It's hard to explain, but I'm sure many others can explain that look of like I was in trouble for leaving. It was just horrible. I was just praying that the elevator would come and I didn't have to talk to him. The singer says she was confused by the incident and wants justice for his claimed victims following his recent arrest in an exclusive interview with the US Sun. Diddy, who has entered a not guilty plea, is accused in a federal indictment of planning day-long parties and enticing his guests to attend. Reminiscent of her initial encounter with Diddy, Friday recalled that in July 1999, she and a friend attended an autograph signing at an HMV record store to commemorate the release of his second studio album, Forever. She says the friend and she were in a girl group at the time and they sang for Diddy when he arrived late, and then he invited them to his after party at a 5-star hotel. After we sang, he made his move. He was hitting on me, commenting on my beautiful eyes and complexion, she said. He whispered to a security guard and then invited my friend and I back to his hotel, where he stated he was having a big party and other artists would be there. I told him we were only 16. He said, "Oh, it's okay, I don't check IDs at my parties." In Toronto, the age of consent was 16 and is still 16 to this day, although the legal drinking age was 19. Friday acknowledges that she was a little uncomfortable with him because of his off energy and wasn't sure if she would go, but a friend persuaded her that it would be an excellent chance to network. His security guard gave us the details, what hotel to go to, and to wait in the lobby for them to arrive if we got there before they did. She continued, "We got to the hotel and waited about 5 or so minutes with about 4 other girls, and then he arrived. There were paps outside the hotel and some fans. My friend and I were gathered by one of the security guards as Diddy was quickly ushered into an elevator. The security guard advised us of the rules and specifically said we can't use our phones in any of the party rooms if we have them. Smartphones with cameras were not invented yet, or social media. I had an old Sony Ericsson on prepaid minutes, and that had run out of charge at the signing. The no phone situation was another red flag for me, and I began getting nervous." She claims that after security also convinced her to go, she ultimately consented. The girls were then led upstairs and informed that there were numerous suites and 2 different parties, one of which Diddy himself would personally invite them to later that evening. Security took us all to the first room door. It was kind of loud and fairly dim upon entering. It also smelled sweet from a collection of women's perfume. The other girls went to work the room. They were hired models. All of this before the era of IG models, smartphones, or any social media. MySpace wasn't even invented. As it wasn't her first industry party, Friday wasn't astonished when she said there was a lot of stuff going on already in the main party area. However, she claims that she became uneasy because there were more men than women at the celebration. She said her parents thought she was safe with her buddy, even though they were aware of her frequent attendance at late night filming and project filming as she attempted to break into the profession. There were finger foods, candy, consumables, and drinks, none of which I touched in case there was something in them. I immediately felt like a piece of meat and very uncomfortable. Puffy was nowhere to be found. Men swarmed us, offering us money, record deals, etc. I declined all the offers and tried to be around more women. I lost my friend but found Puffy. I asked him about her if he knew where she went, and he told me I need to ditch her. He walked away and I went to search for her in the various connecting rooms, and one door was locked. I tried to open it and a security guard immediately came in to ask what I was doing and informed me that I wasn't allowed to go in that room until I was invited by Puffy to the other party. That's what the security called freak-offs, the other party. According to what Friday had heard, the party was elevated with additional activities and consumables, matching other people's comments of Diddy's freak-off parties. According to her, the celebrity was also in town for another event, a yacht party, and for the Toronto Caribbean Carnival, which is also known as Caribana. The cover of a local magazine and promotional photos of Diddy at the 1999 event following the hotel party Friday attended have been seen by the US Sun. Most of his staff were doing their jobs, some a little too well, she said. One security guard in particular kept trying to get me to drink, was hitting on me, and following me around the party. He's the one who caught me trying to open the freak-off door. He said, "You're not allowed to go in there. You didn't get invited yet. You have to wait for Puffy to ask you to come." And I'm like, why? And then he's like, it's another party, the other party. He's like, when you go, you'll find out. I cannot talk about it. I wanted to get out of there as fast as possible, but I couldn't find my friend. I wanted to go look for her after seeing I couldn't call her because my phone was out of charge. I didn't know if she was okay, if she went home, if she left me a voicemail. At that point, she alleged the security guard stopped her, barred the entrance, held her shoulders, and informed her she was not allowed to leave. And I'm like, yes I am. You're letting me go, and I'm going to go out so I can find my friend. He's like, no, you're gonna wait here until Puffy comes back and then you'll be invited to the party. I think he thought I wanted to be invited to the party and that's why he wasn't letting me go. I didn't want to go to the party, I just wanted to get out. I began to yell, telling him I wanted to leave the party. It sucked. The men were gross and ugly, and if he didn't stop holding me, move out of my way and let me go, I was going to tell my dad. That's when I pulled out my phone. He didn't know it was out of charge, but he moved out of the way. She told the entourage she was only 16 and that her father was calling and that it was past her curfew. She also claimed that Diddy looked angry as he hurried towards her down the hallway. I flashed my out-of-charge phone in his face and the elevator opened at the perfect time, with the hotel manager and hotel security in it, she said. I ran into the elevator, but the hotel security held it open until the manager asked him to lower down the music. Other guests were complaining. I was in the very back corner of the elevator, out of Diddy's sight. Once the elevator door closed, the manager asked me if I was okay. I was in shock and couldn't speak at the moment. When we got to the lobby, I told him I lost my friend, my phone ran out of battery, and asked him to use the front desk phone to call my messages in case my friend left a message. Friday declared that it was the last and only Diddy party she would ever attend, and she never felt the same at other VIP events she went to over the years that were thrown by other rappers. She claims she never discussed her experience with her parents or anybody else, but her buddy never revealed all that transpired when she stayed late at the party. When Diddy traveled to Toronto in 1999, it was thought that he was already in a relationship with Jennifer Lopez, whom he had met on the set of her April 1999 music video, If You Had My Love. Friday attested that she had not seen Jennifer and that no one at the party had mentioned her. When asked how she was doing following Diddy's arrest recently for raids on his properties, Friday said, elated. I, like many others, knew this was coming, she said. Finally, so many people were going to get justice for the horrors they lived through at his behest.
P. Diddy had freak-off parties. Celebrities went to those parties. Sports stars went to those parties.
The freak-off, term that has now not only become synonymous with Sean Diddy Combs, but it is at the center of his federal crimes case.
These Diddy freak-off parties are way worse than we thought, guys.
I actually went to a Diddy freak-off party in Miami at a mansion. It was like 8 stories high, and it just kept going up, and the higher you went, the weirder was going on.
At my parties, we dance. Like, guys dance for girls, and girls dance for guys, and guys dance for guys, and girls dance for girls.
So we know that Diddy, he is just a wild guy. He had all of these parties with a lot of big name celebrities and some lesser known celebrities.
Y'all, Diddy's wild Halloween parties are back in the spotlight. Celebs like LeBron James, Jennifer Lopez, and Ashton Kutcher were regulars.
Doing some things that I can't really say in this video, but you kind of just have to use your imagination. And now there's a lot of celebrities that are saying now, okay, I do do not want to be linked with Diddy in any way, shape, or form. My name, I don't want it to come up in the same sentence as Diddy, because yeah, they were caught on camera and in videos literally doing some pretty wild things, and it could be pretty incriminating for them. So we know that these parties got really wild, but yeah, they get even worse. So check this out, guys. Imagine stepping into a room where every single wall and even the ceiling was covered with mirrors. Yeah, the entire room, just a reflection, one giant reflection. No matter where you look, you caught a glimpse of yourself or somebody else, literally in every single aspect and every single angle of the room that you're in. And according to a party planner who witnessed Diddy setting up for these parties, that's literally what he would do.
According to a party planner who allegedly worked with him, mirrors line the walls and ceilings so guests could see every angle.
Create rooms with just mirrors in them. And Diddy, allegedly, he wanted to create a watch from every angle experience for his guest. Wow, this detail alone really goes to the core of what these parties were actually like. That's so weird. Just imagine doing all that stuff and seeing yourself. We're all pretty tough critics of ourselves, but I couldn't imagine like doing the deed with somebody and seeing myself in the mirror. Nah, bro. And like I was mentioning, Diddy didn't just have high-profile celebrities. He had, obviously, people that were lesser known as well, just, you know, some regular friends. And according to insiders, he allegedly went the extra mile to hire models. But here's the thing. Sources say that these models were most likely adult workers, not just typical models. Some were, but the majority of them were like, yeah, these adult workers. And the party planner, who actually asked to not be named, they did clarify that while they were only responsible for arranging mainstream party details, it did come as a big surprise when these adult worker models showed up. Now, one thing that's pretty interesting is that this party planner who's sharing all these inside details about the Diddy freak-offs and sharing details about Diddy making rooms out of mirrors and everything, they chose not to be named. And it's pretty interesting because first thing that comes to my head is that, okay, well, this person's obviously making this stuff up, because why wouldn't they just come on record and say who they are? Like, what do they have to lose? But then on the flip side, I'm also thinking that maybe they're just straight up scared, you know? And this is probably something really, really hard for them to talk about because they were holding all the details in over the years and they just don't know how to come out and say it. Maybe they're just scared of any repercussions, whether it comes directly from Diddy or somebody close to Diddy. Yeah, they're probably just worried, or they just don't want to be investigated, because although they are spilling details about Diddy's freak-offs, they probably were caught on camera, just like a bunch of other celebrities, maybe being involved in certain acts, or maybe appearing to be involved in certain acts, but either way, it's still incriminating, and they don't want to go down with everybody in this investigation. So yeah, there's a few things to consider here, but I guess in this case, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they're actually telling the truth. But getting back to some of the details about these freak-off parties. So people like the Kardashians, Leo DiCaprio, Jay-Z and Beyonce, Jennifer Lopez, who dated Diddy back in the day, as well as celebrities like Ashton Kutcher, so many other people too. They all were at these parties.
Diddy party stories, man. That was like some weird memory lane stuff.
And one thing that I do gotta make clear is that not all of the parties were freak-off parties. So let me just clear that up. Not every single Diddy party was a freak-off party, but a lot of his parties had the freak-offs at the end. And this was when a lot of celebrities would leave, and other people that he invited, they would go, and if they decided to stay for the after party, you know, that's when the freak-offs went down. So the parties would start off like these glamorous Hollywood star-studded events, and you know, it was like other celebrity parties. They could get a bit wild, of course. It's pretty normal. Nothing too crazy though. It just all seemed like a good party, maybe a little bit over the top. Nothing that would raise any red flags. But then the party would transform into something more private and dark and sinister. And it really makes you wonder if these A-list celebrities, they actually knew what they were getting into when these freak-off parties were starting, or did it come as a shock? I think it was a little bit of both. I for sure believe that there were people who literally knew what they were walking into, and they just did it because, yeah, they could. Maybe they were rich and powerful, and they're like, yeah, it's no big deal. While I do believe that there were some others that just were in the wrong place at the wrong time. And listen, we've all been there. We've all been to parties, and it's like, okay, yeah, let's go to the after party, and you know, you're just thinking that you're gonna have a good time, but then, yeah, things get dark and you are not aware of it. And then all of a sudden you're caught on camera and you're a part of the freak-offs and you had no idea what you were walking into. Law enforcement has said that they have found a lot of recordings from Diddy. And now we can't necessarily confirm the existence of these tapes because none of them have been released to the public at the time that I'm recording this video. But we do have some footage already, as well as images of these parties to hint that, you know, they got way worse than you thought.
The best thing you ever been to.
Again, nothing fully blatantly out there, but the fact that Diddy could do that thing to Cassie in that hotel hallway, it leads me to believe that he did a lot of other things similar or even worse and recorded them during the freak-offs, even though we haven't seen those tapes yet.
Combs assaulting then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hallway.
Yeah, after that Cassie tape though, man, I think Diddy is just capable of anything. And the police do say that, yes, they did find the tapes. Like, there's hours and hours of tapes. Like, Diddy did his best to record everything. So sooner or later, we will know exactly what the true nature of these parties were like, because Diddy recorded so much footage. I guess he recorded it to have something to hold over the heads of people that attended so he can control them, you know, a little bit of a power trip there, as well as in case he needed to, in terms of blackmail. If somebody was gonna out Diddy on something, he was like, hey, remember I got that tape of you doing that thing. So obviously this would mean serious trouble for any celebrity or any person involved. And sources are saying that this goes well beyond Diddy as well. So many people, even more powerful and influential than Diddy, are involved and caught on tape. And another thing is that I really don't think it's a coincidence why so many celebrities are just keeping silent about everything going on with Diddy. Like, I'm talking about celebrities that would rub shoulders with Diddy, like they were BFFs, and boom, nothing. Not one peep, not one sound, nothing is mentioned about Diddy. So there's definitely something weird, something strange going on here.
Now that the horrific charges have been revealed and Diddy is in prison, many are noticing the silence of Jennifer Lopez.
Like literally, even J-Lo, who dated Diddy back in the day, she has literally shut down questions relating to Diddy recently. But getting back to the parties a little bit though, these freak-offs, apparently according to this party planner, they were full-blown productions. The party planner revealed that Diddy allegedly spent close to $500,000 per party on everything from gourmet food to top-tier drinks, professional dancers, acrobats, performers, and even live animals. And by the way, this is just like the main party. We're not even getting to the freak-offs. So maybe that bill was closer to $1 million. He went all out, guys, to create an unforgettable atmosphere, making it clear that Diddy's parties were on another level. Literally, to quote the words of LeBron James, ain't no party like a Diddy party.
Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
The party planner did say that Diddy wanted it to be like everywhere you looked, there would be adult acts happening. So Diddy has a fascination with getting intimate and seeing other people get intimate. Yeah, so these freak-off parties, yeah, they were way worse than we thought. And I guess this explains the 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube that were found in Diddy's home after it was raided by law enforcement. Just how wild did these parties get? Well, all the evidence is pointing to the fact that they went way overboard. It wasn't just a wild Hollywood party. Like this was something else. This wasn't even a party. This was not a good time for many guests. I'm sure a lot of them were so uncomfortable. I'm sure a lot of people were taking advantage of and just really uncomfortable. Diddy, of course, has denied all allegations. He has pleaded not guilty and maintains that he has never engaged in anything that was specifically against the law. Did he party real hard? Yep, he'll admit that. But that's as far as it goes when it comes to Diddy. Diddy's team says that they are confident that he'll be cleared of all charges, and they say that the truth will come out. Whether or not that's true, these revelations have already cast a dark shadow over his career as well as his reputation, and it's hard to imagine how he'll bounce back from all of this, no matter what happens in the courts. So if he's found not guilty, I think he's still just done.
You're not gonna believe it, guys, but there were more celebrities caught at P. Diddy's freak-off parties. There ain't no party like a Diddy party, LeBron James says.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
And while we all thought that meant a good time you'll never forget, we're now realizing it's a nightmare many celebrities wish they never attended. Diddy's always been known for throwing parties that are the talk of the town, attracting stars from every corner of the entertainment industry. But what makes these so-called freak-off parties so special? And why are they now making headlines?
Can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them.
Well, it all started when a collection of photos and videos from past events began to resurface, giving fans and critics a glimpse into the wild world of Diddy's celebrations. Among the celebrities who've been spotted at these parties are some major A-listers: Leonardo DiCaprio, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Kim Kardashian, just to name a few. Each event seemed to be more extravagant than the last, full of interesting decorations and a seemingly endless supply of champagne. And while most of these celebrities haven't been caught of any wrongdoing, their mere association with Diddy has sparked intense questioning of their characters. P. Diddy's freak-off parties have been getting a lot of attention recently, and now it seems like a whole roster of celebs have found themselves linked to these events. And I'm sure there are way more of them linked to these parties. These parties are also known for their late nights, with reports suggesting that things really heat up once the clock strikes midnight. It's at this hour that the freak-offs supposedly begin, described as a time when the atmosphere shifts and the energy, well, it becomes very weird. These events are said to feature everything from wild dance-offs to bizarre performances, and while some may find it entertaining, others raise an eyebrow at what really goes on behind closed doors. One former party attendee said the atmosphere was always crazy and that many guests, well, they were already in a party mood when they got there. From the outside, it appeared to be a lavish celebration, but insiders have described a strange experience at these events. It's like Diddy parties had an aura of unpredictability, where anything could happen, and it often did. I think many attending expected a good time, but then encountered a time they wanted to forget. But despite the glamour, there are rumors hanging over Diddy like a dark cloud. The rapper has found himself in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons recently, facing challenges that could shake his empire. And I think it already has. As he faces backlash, the parties he once held with pride have come under some big judgment. Some wonder whether the money and fame could have covered more questionable elements that are now coming to light. During this drama, Diddy's team has made headlines claiming the case against him is a targeted aim driven by racial bias. His lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, has suggested the allegations are part of a bigger narrative that seeks to undermine the success of prominent black figures in the entertainment industry. Whether or not this argument will resonate in court remains to be seen, but it adds another layer of drama to an already complicated situation. Does anyone really believe what this lawyer is saying? Because I'm not buying it. Meanwhile, Netflix is getting in on the action, reportedly working on a doc-series that will explore Diddy's life, including those parties. Produced by none other than 50 Cent, this docu-series aims to provide an interesting perspective on the rapper's story, while also addressing the broader implications of the situations he's currently facing. It's an ambitious project that promises to dive deep into the life of one of hip-hop's most influential figures, and how his downfall has made him one of the most disliked. As fans await its release, the anticipation is building, and many are curious to see how this will all unfold. Diddy's history of hosting A-list parties goes back decades, and while many stars have enjoyed themselves here, it raises questions about the culture of celebrity and roles that come with it. Celebs are often put on pedestals, admired and idolized, but the line between admiration and collaboration can sometimes blur. The resurfacing of these photos and videos has opened the floor for discussions about these stars in Hollywood. As the Diddy story unfolds, fans are left wondering what the future holds for him and the many celebs who attended his parties. With their names involved in all of this, some might find themselves needing to distance themselves from the issue at hand. Leonardo DiCaprio, for example, has reportedly cut ties with Diddy, while other stars may be reevaluating their past associations. What will be the fallout from all of this? How will the celebrities linked to these parties navigate the pressure? And what does this mean for the future of celebrity culture? One thing's for sure, I think those who never attended are happy they escaped a close call. Diddy's parties may have been all about luxury and fun, but the questions raised remind us that even the most glamorous events can have hidden secrets.
Talking about, you don't see this shit I'm dealing with right now? I know, Bob.
Diddy got a secret phone call from prison, and guess what? It got leaked.
Did Jay reach out yet? Nah, Bob. He ghosting. What's this motherfucker doing? These things sweet now, cause I'm in here. It's all good. You about to get out on bail. Nah, hey yo, check this out. Need you to reach out to the producer.
Diddy's phone call from prison has leaked, and it's more cryptic than anyone expected.
Everybody out there quiet as motherfucker on him. Yeah, exactly. We gonna let him have their little fun, but I'm still gonna have the last laugh.
The phone call was between his son and him, and for those of you who are into the deep, dark truths of Hollywood, here's what the phone call said. His son said, "Yo, Pop, what up?" with Diddy replying saying, "Do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone."
Do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone.
He then says, "I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes, all the boxes left over from the pizza, all the boxes.
I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes.
Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about.
Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about."
And then his son at first seemed confused before agreeing with him. Diddy then asked in the phone call if someone named Jay reached out. Many fans suspect he's referring to Jay-Z or Justin Bieber, but it's unknown to whom he is referring. Diddy then asked his son if everyone is still quiet since he's been in jail, to which his son said yes, to which Diddy replied saying that they can have their fun for now, but he'll have the last laugh. It's unknown which son he was speaking with because Diddy has 7 kids. It's also unknown who they are. Again, some of you know that pizza is a term apparently used by people in Hollywood for something else involving younger people. If you don't know, then there's tons of info online about it. Diddy's reference to recycling plastic could have meant resolving any whistleblowers, but this is so creepy. There's no way this is real. There's absolutely no way Diddy is this dumb. I know he's an absolute creep and a monster, but this is just straight up ridiculous. There's so much I want to say about this case, but one thing I will bring up is that I can't believe his lawyer is still trying to claim complete innocence. He doesn't think people are gonna buy that, does he? There's even so many people coming forward that I'm seeing ads on my Facebook and Instagram pages saying, if you have been affected by Diddy, you may be entitled to compensation. The judge has denied Diddy's bail attempts and he'll remain behind bars until at least spring 2025, which is when his trial happens. Diddy or his lawyers have not commented on this alleged call, which is leading a lot of people into thinking that it's actually AI. Because of how obvious and absurd the call was, it seems pretty likely that it is. But guys, AI is getting crazy these days. You can do anything. You can mimic people's voices, you can make photos that aren't real, videos that aren't real. It's pretty concerning, to be honest. This Diddy phone call, it seems so legitimate. I don't know yet if it's real or fake, but the thing with AI is they end up sounding so real. There's also another apparently leaked phone call with Diddy and Beyonce that is most definitely faked, with Beyonce denying ever being involved in stuff happening at the freak-offs. And the reason people probably created this AI call is because so many people believe that Beyonce and Jay-Z are involved with some unspeakable things. And while this is all hearsay, theorists online sound pretty sure of the claims. So yes, I am 99.9% sure that the Diddy and Beyonce leaked phone call is definitely AI, but I do think Beyonce and Jay-Z are involved in some sketchy things. That's just my opinion. When it comes to AI, there are so many stories of people getting phone calls from a family member in tears, saying they need help, asking for stuff, and so many people got tricked like this because it ended up being AI. This is called voice cloning or deep fakes. So definitely be careful these days to avoid this happening to you, because when I listen to this Diddy audio, it sounds so legitimate. And I wouldn't have guessed that it was a fake recording if I just heard about it without that opinion. But I mean, it is a federal case, so I do think it's pretty impossible for this stuff to get leaked. When it comes to the Diddy case, there are a ton of people creating AI online about it. There was a made-up photo of Diddy and J-Lo that looked so realistic, I believed it immediately, but when I looked into it, it turned out to be AI. Kai Cenat even released a hilarious video of him talking to an AI chatbot that was made to be P. Diddy. If you actually just type into YouTube Diddy and AI, a ton of these videos pop up. They're pretty hilarious, but also kind of weird considering you can do this to literally anyone and trick them into giving you personal information or money. You can make music using AI as well. And there's now a song going viral made about Diddy on YouTube and Spotify. I can't help but laugh though. There's an AI created image of LeBron James in a white dress, and it's pretty funny. I was even talking to a friend of mine, Peter Hatch. He's a good friend of mine. He's a self-made producer, director, and recently he's been getting into acting. He's a really intelligent dude, so I wanted to know his opinion on this. He said P. Diddy might be in jail for the rest of his life, but when it comes to AI, I'm kind of nervous about it. I think it's wild how fast it's accelerating. We can fake voices, we can fake people's faces. It's going to be a problem. I'm actually of the opinion that there needs to be some form of legislation where it becomes actually illegal to use it in certain cases. I don't have a lot of faith that will happen, but I think it's kind of the solution because with the speed that we're able to regulate things, technology is outpacing it. And we're seeing it already with how social media has affected society and affected misinformation and become habit forming, and there's just no way to legislate it. These companies are too big, they're monopolizing it, and I think the same thing is going to happen with AI. I don't know what the solution is. I'm a little worried about the future. Now I don't know to trust if something's real. If I look at artwork, I don't know if it's real. We're living in a time that if we see a politician or a celebrity or anyone speaking out, we don't know if it's real. We know that people made fake images of Taylor Swift. Like, how soon until we're not sure if that's real? My take is that it needs to be legislated heavily. So guys, I completely agree with Pete. And by the way, he makes some of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen. I've also acted in a few of them, so feel free to check them out. My other friend created a chatbot of me using videos of me online, and it was so wildly realistic. I then told the chatbot that I was going to sue it. So now it only replies to me saying that it's an AI assistant. So I actually took all the fun away from that. Obviously, I wasn't actually going to sue the bot, but it believed me. It knew all my hobbies, it sounded exactly like me. It was spooky. The world right now, it really feels like a Black Mirror episode. And I know when the robots take over, I'll be safe because I always say please and thank you to ChatGPT when we talk. Some people are even resorting to using AI boyfriend or girlfriends, which isn't my cup of tea, but do you, I guess. Online superstar Kit Boga has made a YouTube channel getting back at people who trick people online for money. He's a genius. 2 years ago, he released a video where he made an AI bot talk to them. The video is hilarious. He was actually able to trick the dude into giving his bank account information by making him think that he was going to transfer him $17,000 through an AI bot. The AI bot sounded so realistic. In just a 7-minute phone call, the AI bot was able to get the original trickster's bank account info. Crazy. So what should we do to avoid this? Knowledge is power. Go on YouTube and watch some videos on what to look out for. Post about it on your social media to spread awareness. Spread the word to your friends and family. AI is getting so good, it's gonna be impossible to tell what's real. I honestly feel like in the future, we'll have robots walking among us that we might not be able to tell aren't human. Also, make sure to say please and thank you to ChatGPT. And also remember to thank Beyonce. From being fired from a record label to creating his own record label, to being called one of the most influential artists of his time, to allegations of ending certain stars, to other massive allegations, to finally an arrest and losing everything. There's no doubt that P. Diddy has had many wild up and downs during his career. When did this massive fall happen? We're gonna dive in and talk about all the juicy details. Sean Diddy Combs began his career in the 90s as an intern for Uptown Records after dropping out of Howard University. He worked his way up to become a talent director at the label and went on to develop artists Jodeci and Mary J. Blige. After he was fired from the label in 1993, he decided to venture out to create his own label, Bad Boy Records. We can't be stopped now, 'cause it's Bad Boy. Under his leadership, he catapulted his own musical career in addition to several other big names, including Faith Evans, Machine Gun Kelly,
God, I'm the rap devil, come a bare face with a black shell,
Notorious B.I.G., and more. While Diddy proved himself as a successful businessman, he also faced a lot of mess during his reign, including legal trouble, charges, several misconduct allegations, and more. While working at Uptown Records, Diddy headlined a charity concert with Heavy D at the City College of New York City. The event was oversold and led to a stampede. 9 people passed away at this event. No charges were filed following the incident. Following his departure from Uptown, Diddy entered a joint venture deal with Arista Records to create Bad Boy Records. His first major client was Notorious B.I.G., who he brought from Uptown. That same year, Diddy founded his label. He also welcomed his first child, son Justin, with ex Misa Hilton. 1 year after this, Diddy began dating Kim Porter and adopted her son Quincy from a previous relationship. Under the stage name Puff Daddy, Diddy dropped his debut single, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, which became his first #1 song on the Billboard Hot 100.
Can't nobody hold me down, oh no.
Following the track's success, he released his debut album, No Way Out. The album included several of Diddy's most successful songs, such as It's All About the Benjamins, Been Around the World, Victory, and I'll Be Missing You, which was a tribute to Notorious B.I.G., whose life was taken earlier that year. Diddy got his first Grammy win when he took home trophies for Best Rap Album and Best Rap Performance by a duo or group, I'll Be Missing You. The same year, he also started his Sean John clothing line and welcomed son Christian, who goes by the stage name King Combs, with Kim Porter. In 1999, Diddy was charged with a mess that happened with Interscope Records executive Steve Stout, who managed Nas. The pair got into a disagreement over Nas's music video for his song Hate Me Now, which Diddy was featured on, and Diddy mistreated Steve. Steve sued Diddy and received a $500,000 out-of-court settlement. Diddy also pled guilty and was sentenced to spend 1 day in an anger management class. That same year, Diddy also began a brief romance with Jennifer Lopez. While the couple was out at a club in New York City, bang bangs broke out after Diddy got into an argument with another dude at the venue. Diddy was charged with 4 bang bang charges, with trying to persuade his driver with money, Wardell Fenderson, to claim ownership of his bang bang. The case went to trial and Diddy was found not guilty on all charges. Diddy decided to change his stage name from Puff Daddy to P. Diddy. He also ended Bad Boy's distribution deal with Arista Records. Diddy was also charged for driving with a suspended license in Florida. He was released moments later after he signed a promise to return for a court appearance. Following the success of I'll Be Missing You, Sting sued Diddy for royalties after the rapper used the Police's Every Breath You Take as a sample without permission. Sting won the case and received 100% of the song royalties, with payments reportedly going until 2053. In 2005, 4 years after his first name change, Diddy announced he was no longer going by P. Diddy and he would be known as Diddy from then on. Kim Porter and Diddy expanded their family with twins Delilah and Jesse. 5 months before Kim gave birth, Diddy fathered daughter Chance with ex Sarah Chapman. He took legal responsibility for his daughter the following year. Porter and Diddy called it quits shortly after that. In 2007, following his breakup from Kim Porter, Diddy began dating Cassie, whose real name is Cassandra Ventura, who was signed to his record label. In 2015, Diddy was arrested after an incident with his son's football coach at UCLA. The charges were later dropped due to lack of evidence. In 2017, Diddy announced that he would now be going by the name Love. This name didn't catch on at all with fans, and when he realized that, he said he was just joking.
What's your name now?
I mean, most of the time I feel like I'm Puff.
In 2018, Kim Porter died of pneumonia at age 47. Despite being broken up, the pair were apparently on good terms. Diddy delivered a eulogy at her funeral saying, "She was my friend first, she was my confidant, she was like my guidance, still is. I was just open, we fell in love, and honestly, her love was too much for me to handle. It was a lot to handle, to take in." Now, just to dive into the rumors, a lot of people are saying that Diddy had Kim taken out because she was about to release a tell-all about Diddy that he did not want getting out. A few weeks before she passed away, a political figure's wife reportedly saw her, and she didn't seem to view Diddy in a favorable light. She had major concerns. So it's not a stretch to think that Diddy might have had some involvement in her passing away. That same year, Diddy and Cassie called it quits after 11 years of dating. In 2022, Diddy welcomed his daughter Love with Dana Tran, making him a father of 7. In November 2023, Cassie filed a lawsuit against Diddy accusing her ex of many different things. Diddy denied everything and swore by his innocence. Shortly after the filing, the pair reached a settlement. Following the allegations, Diddy stepped down as the chairman of his music television network, Revolt. Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami were raided by the Department of Homeland Security in connection with the federal investigation in 2024. During the LA raid, his sons Justin and King were reportedly detained at the scene, according to TMZ. In May 2024, CNN released 2016 security footage of Diddy mistreating Cassie in such a way that people could not get past it. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend not watching it. It's not for the faint of heart. He couldn't talk his way out of it when the video proof came out. He then tried to apologize the next day via video, but people were soon wising up to the fact that he wasn't innocent at all.
But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
1 week later, Diddy was accused by model Crystal McKinney in a new lawsuit. According to documents obtained by TMZ, the model alleged that after meeting 2003, Diddy did some things that were just unacceptable. On September 16th, 2024, Diddy was arrested in New York City and taken into custody. 1 day later, he was caught on charges. Diddy's attorney told US Weekly in a statement after the arrest, "He is an imperfect person, but he is not a criminal. To his credit, Mr. Combs has been nothing but cooperative with this investigation. He voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges. Please reserve your judgment until you have all the facts. These are acts of an innocent man with nothing to hide, and he looks forward to clearing his name in court." So what do you guys think? This is so crazy what's happening with Diddy. Who would have thought all of this stuff would have came out? And now he's in prison and he's probably going away for a very long time.